Hello again, and welcome to this interview in the series that is all about inspiring and empowering a league of extraordinary mothers on how to rekindle that fire in your belly and step back into life with more clarity, purpose, and excitement. Today, we have with us Deborah Kagan. Deborah is a speaker, author, mentor, and mojo recovery expert. And today, we get to dive into her wisdom around conquering self-doubt and reclaiming our confidence. Thank you so much for being with us, Deborah.
Oh my goodness, I'm really excited about this series, and I'm thankful that you invited me to be a part of it.
Well, we're blessed to have you. The mums in this series that don't know who you are, I would love you to take a minute just to introduce yourself and also just to give us an idea how you came to be doing the work that you do.
Sure. So as you heard, I'm Deborah Kagan, and I'm a native New Yorker who's now been living in Los Angeles for 25 years. So it's interesting, as a little girl, I didn't wake up one day and go, I think I'll be a mojo recovery specialist when I grow up, right? Like that wasn't a job description that was available. But along the journey, and I'm sure we'll talk about this during our interview, but it's fascinating because really everything that we go through, even though it might not make any sense on the route as we're going through it, it all gets put together at some point, right? It really does end up making sense. But how I got to this specific iteration of my career is, frankly, I lost my mojo. And I lost my mojo almost 20 years ago, which I was in my, I was really in my early 30s at that time. And that seemed very strange to, native New Yorker, kind of sassy in that in my own personality. But I woke up one day and thought, like, where did I go? And what happened? And I felt very disconnected to my own feminine energy. I didn't even really understand what that was truly. And an abbreviated version of the story, because of course, there's years and years, I realized I dedicated myself to learning and to understanding everything that I needed to know about owning our feminine power and about being confident in my own skin, like from a genuine place, not as New Yorkers would say, like not as from a moxie and kind of putting it on sort of place, from a deep sense of in your bones, in your body, in your cells, of having what I call a mojo-licious life. Yeah. And it was, it was an interesting journey. And I studied with wonderful mentors and teachers and did a real deep dive into this aspect of life and personal development. And so it culminated actually at a very powerful event. I get epiphanies, right? Like, you get epiphanies? I'm sure you do. Yeah, right. So I call them shoves from above.
Yeah. So the nudges.
Yeah. And sometimes it's a little shove, and sometimes you'll get slapped, and if you haven't listened to the nudge, right? And sometimes you get walloped over the head. So this one was really a good shove. And I was at an event in New Orleans here in the States, and it was the 10th anniversary of a global organization called V-Day, which is an organization to end violence against women and girls. One of my, passion. That's where all my philanthropy goes. And it's really close to my heart. I grew up in a home of domestic violence, and the first time that I experienced sex was through rape. So I also know what it's like to feel very disempowered as a woman, and to feel that it's safer to be out of your body than in your body. Right? So all of those were early on sort of precursors that, of course, took me on my journey. And I didn't really put it together, obviously, until later on in life that was a big influence. So here I am at this event, and it's in this massive sports arena. And it was kind of hilarious because it was decorated, the entrance. You just got to picture a big, big sports arena, right? Huge. And we all know what sports arenas, they're pretty masculine and a whole different energy. And the entire opening and entrance to the sports arena was decorated like a big vulva. So I was like, all right, we're walking into the Mother Dome. Yeah. And I walked in and immediately felt, I was just literally stopped in my tracks by energy. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, I felt this energy, and then I heard the message, and it said, Deborah, it is time to get up off your ass and do the work with women. And I looked up, I said, look, I don't know what you want me to do, and I'm listening. Right, I'm listening. And that was 2008, and I came home, sat at a cafe with a girlfriend the next day, and basically said, all right, I'm starting this women's group out of my living room, and we are going to talk about our bodies, intimate relating, our feminine power, and really own who we are. And so the genesis of my business was in my living room of this iteration of my business, and it all grew from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that there's lots of terms in there that I hear, and I think as women we hear them. It's that sense of feminine power and reclaiming our femininity in what is very often a very masculine world. But I think a lot of these phrases often just sweep past because we hear them so often. So I would love to talk into that a bit more, and particularly I know a lot of the women listening into this are mums who have had probably multiple pregnancies and multiple births, and the idea of their sexuality is all around, kind of gets lost in that idea of making babies, and rather than perhaps our femininity and finding that space of who we are again as feminine women. Mm-hmm. So we can maybe start there with does that work for you?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting because what you're speaking to is actually one of the third pillar in the Mojo system actually that I've created. Yeah. And so I'd love to run through that, and then we could do a deeper dive into that third pillar. Sound good?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Mojo is a good 4-letter word. Okay. And the other thing that I also would like to ask all of you who are watching this, and it's very important because it is definitely the foundation and the basis with which I do my work and where my work comes from. And so I ask that just for this interview, you might already be okay with this in your life in general, but just for the time of this interview and that we're spending together virtually, that you agree that everything is energy. Okay, so as long as we're cool, like pinky swear on that one, we're going to hang out in that consciousness for the rest of this interview. That's really the basis of the work, and quantum physics have proven this to us at this point. And the cool thing to know about everything being energy is we're never stuck.
Yeah,
ever, because energy is constantly in motion.
Yep.
And that is my guard dog, Lola, who is always around.
Your fur baby's talking.
My fur baby's talking, and it's evening time, at this recording. And so she's doing her guard dog duty. So, forgive her for a moment. But she, so in any case, energy is constantly in motion, which is the great news, because we're actually never stuck. Okay. So Mojo, which is your life force, energy, chi, ki, prana, whatever you want to call it, it is always available to you. You are never, ever without it. And somebody's clearly upsetting her at the moment. But this is what happens entrepreneurial life, right? It's real life.
Yeah.
So in any case, our energy is always available to us. Yep. We have not lost our mojo.
Yeah.
What has happened, and what's accurate to say, is the volume dial on your mojo has gone down.
Yeah.
Okay? That's it. And what we're going to talk about right now with the 4 pillars are easy ways to turn your volume dial right back up. All right, so the 4 pillars. Number 1 is mindset.
Yeah.
M for mindset. We have to get our heads screwed on straight before we can actually step into our empowered selves as women.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us believe that, we're not either allowed to be powerful. We're not allowed to feel our sensuality or our sexuality. Or, once we become a mother, then all of that goes out the window, right? It's not, that whole part of your world, not allowed. And you got to check in. what's your truth? Is that really your actual true belief? Because most of what's in our mind has been adopted by, our circumstances, our environments, our families, our societies, our religions, the schools we went to, right? So you have to really get very clear on your own beliefs and the words that you use and what you're saying, because our words have power, right? And our words are energy, because first they're thoughts, and our thoughts are things. The thoughts become the words we speak become the actions we take, or more importantly, the actions we don't take, right? So our mindset is the first pillar. Second pillar is what I call the oracle. Right now, while we have our mind, first pillar, that's all above the neck. The oracle is our life below the neck. All right, it is our body. And I call it the oracle because our body knows everything, right? That's why it's the oracle, the all-knowing, all sort of, seeing, has all the wisdom. Our body has every, memory, good, bad, indifferent. Everything is within our body. Your body knows what you want to eat. It knows when you want to sleep. It knows who you want to sleep with. It knows when you actually want to exercise or not, right? And it knows what kind of exercise you want to do. So our bodies are these brilliant rental vehicles. We have no idea how long the contract is for, but we know this is the one that we've got in this lifetime, right? And the thing that's so important about our oracle is we have a power center. And the power center is where all your mojo lives. It's there. You're born with it. You will never lose it, ever. It's still there for you. Again, volume dial might be on mute. However, the mojo and your life force is in you. All right. So, and of course, our oracle, which is the home of our mojo, it's crucial to become embodied. This is so much of the work that I do with my clients and our mentorship that I run at the live event, the Rock Your Mojo Women's Weekend. We do so much embodiment work because that is sorely missing in our modern day culture, right? So the oracle is pillar number 2. Pillar number 3, and this will do a deep dive in a moment, what you were speaking to in your original question. And this is about joining with the different roles that you play in life. So yeah, you're a mother. That's great. And it's one part of you. One role. You might also be a wife, or maybe you're a girlfriend or a lover, or, you're obviously a spouse or not to somebody. You're a daughter. You're a friend. You have hobbies. There are other roles that you literally have and you play. But what happens is most of the roles get condensed to 1 or 2, if we're lucky. And mostly you're living 80-85% in one role. It might be mom, right? If that is your full-time job. And then maybe there's 10 to 15% that you're doing something else. A lot of the women I know, at least that come to me and work with me, they're doing 85-90% professional role, right? And that's, so they're just so kind of hardcore in the professional zone, and everything else is just left to the wayside. Okay, so joining with our different roles is a hugely important piece of rocking your mojo. And we'll get back to that in a moment. So the 4th pillar is what I call the oasis. And your oasis is your environment, right? It's the space that you reside in, whether it's home, office. Here in Los Angeles, we spend a lot of time in our cars driving around. So your car is a whole other environment as well, if you live in that kind of community. And it's about creating your environment to be an oasis that supports and frankly infuses more mojo into you and your life so that you don't have to work as hard. See, prior to this iteration of my professional life of, doing the mojo work, as we say, which has been going on, now it's been 11 years exclusively. Prior to that, for about 12 years, all I did was feng shui consulting.
Oh.
And so for those of you that don't know what feng shui is, it is a very amazing practice. It's a science and an art, originally from China. And it is 3,000 to 5,000 years old. But basically, it's about improving the quality of your life by making very simple changes in your environment. Right? So I know the power of creating a space that is sacred for you and that fuels and juices your mojo. This is why it's one of the, pillars in the 4-pillar system of mojo, right? Okay, so those are the 4 pillars. Now, the cool thing is you can use 1, 2, 3, 4. You can use any and all of them to support you in getting back to yourself and getting back to being confident and feeling alive in your body and living this turned on life.
Yeah.
So you were asking about, when we become moms and maybe you've had 1, 2 or more children and that you feel like you've just kind of lost all of your mojo and your verve. And this has a lot to do with the fact that you're living in the one role of mom, right? And that's an important role. But here's an interesting fact that not a lot of people talk about. And this brings into the conversation the 2 different qualities of energy, right? Everything is energy. We have 2 qualities, masculine energy, feminine energy, right? Everybody's got them. Every place, if you look at the yin yang symbol, right? There's a little dot inside the one half of each, right? So there's the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine. There's a little bit, in each other. Everybody has masculine and feminine energy. The thing that nobody really talks about is the fact that being a mom mostly utilizes your masculine energy.
It's the doing, isn't it?
It is the constant doing. It is the constant, taking care of the getting kids fed and clothed and to bed and to school and the brushing of the teeth and the laundry and right. It is a constant do. Now, of course, there's like loving and nurturing and this part of it, which leans more into the feminine energy. The overarching energy that is involved with parenting, okay, like mothering or, fathering, but parenting is masculine energy. So not only are you running masculine energy through your body and your mind day in and day out, you're also relating to this one particular role, and all the other ones start to seem less important. And they're not getting airtime because, we don't have time, or we're taking care of the kid, or this or that, right? So the joining with the different roles that you play is a really key aspect into coming back to yourself as a well-rounded, full-bodied, self-expressed woman. And not only is this important for yourself, the women that actually have come, we had this, I would love to share a quick story.
Yeah, please do.
Because we had, I run this event in Los Angeles called the Rock Your Mojo Women's Weekend. It's fantastic. It's a 2.5-day, just incredible deep dive into all these aspects of your mojo. And I share a story, which is, a challenging story to hear about my mother and I, which we've gone through we've definitely gone through our trials and tribulations, and we found a beautiful place for our relationship as of today. But I share this story where she said something that you think nobody would ever say this to their child. And she has said this on a few occasions, but, has apologized profusely at this point. But, she said, "You're not the child I've ever wanted. Or you're not the daughter I ever wanted. And I'm her only child." Right? So we went through our stuff around that, and again, have totally healed from it. However, I share the story in a much kind of broader sense, to really, and to make a point. But what came out of sharing this story were women that would come up to the mic. They came up the next morning, right, when we were doing shares. And this one woman who I've worked with for a couple of years. So, she's known me and the work, and I mentor her. And she said, "I want to thank you for sharing that story about you and your mother, because I went home last night and I was putting my daughter to bed." And I know her daughter, she's adorable. She was 10 at the time. And she said, And when I was tucking her in, I was so inspired to share with her and to say, you are the daughter I've always wanted. Mm. And then, and this other woman got up and said, you know what? I went home and I told my son, you're the son I've always wanted. And so I share this story because when you step into your own power and you step into your mojo as a woman, as a mother, you're not only doing this for yourself. Like, I really want you to get that, because I have seen this over and over and over again with women, and they share it, at the live events I teach, and they share it on social media. You are, of course, stepping into it at first for you, right? That's the initial connection. And what ends up happening is everybody around you benefits. Why? Because wherever you are, there you are. And you are a pulsing, beating, living, breathing energy ball. And so when you shift your vibration, because energy is just vibration, when you shift your vibration, you elevate your vibration. And that's what happens when you step into your mojo. That vibration is rippling out around you. So it is in your home, and your children feel it, and your spouse feels it. And not only that, your children are now growing up with a mother who's empowered, so they have a role model of an empowered woman and what that truly looks like. And that's what's so exciting to me about the work that I do, because it's not only about this, about you, it's about the next generations. And again, with my passion for ending violence towards women and girls, the only way that's going to happen is by the next generations changing. And that happens by us showing them, by us leading by example. Yes. So, all right, I'm off my soapbox now.
Oh, no, you're speaking my language. I love it. And, we have this, overarching desire for our kids, for this next generation to be happy and healthy. But we can't tell them eat this and exercise and go to bed early if we're not doing it. You've got to show them how it's done, what it looks like.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. So I would love to explore a little bit more that piece around feminine and masculine energy and some more examples, because I know that this, starting to learn more about this and becoming more aware of this made a big shift for me. I went from picking up whatever was at the end of my bed and not really bothering to care what I look like, because I just had to get, as a single mum with 4 kids for many years, I just had to, it was like a military operation, and what I looked like didn't come into it. But when I started to shift that and take time to get dressed in the morning, maybe even put on some lippy, even if I wasn't going anywhere, which I'm often not because I work from home, the difference it made to how I feel and how I show up just made the world of difference. So that's one tiny piece. But if you can give some more examples of how we tap more into that feminine energy rather than masculine, or what the differences are, I think that would be really powerful.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, and it does make a world of difference when you incorporate more feminine energy into your life. Now, here's what's interesting. I am certainly not promoting get rid of your masculine energy. I wouldn't have a business if I didn't have to use my masculine energy, right? And honestly, I'm also not suggesting that you simply, go into feminine energy all of the time, because A, nothing's going to get done, and B, is things are going to get kind of just weird and wonky, right? It's fun for a little bit at a time, but 24/7, all feminine energy, sit around with your girlfriends, right, and go, okay, what movie do you want to go see?
I don't know. What do you want to see?
Hello, right? So somebody at some point has to step in with masculine energy and be like, we're going to see, The Little Mermaid, or whatever.
That's such a classic example, because my husband knows I make a million decisions by the time I get to the end of the day. If we're going to sit down to watch a movie, he doesn't even ask me anymore. He knows what I like watching, but I'm just like, babe, don't ask. You decide. Yeah. I'm in feminine time.
Totally. And we all need that, right? Men and women. But again, I know certainly anyone who gravitates towards me, and if you're relating to this conversation, and if you're connected to this conversation, feeling invigorated and, inspired by it, well, then I know you're already a woman whose essential nature, like your essence, leans to the feminine. We all have a predominant at our core, right? So I know for me, certainly at my core, like, woo, feminine all the way. Happen to have a very strong capacity with masculine energy, too strong, which is also what got me into this work originally. And now, understand how to navigate it. So again, the ideal situation is about having great capacity with your masculine and your feminine. Okay. But I'm gathering most of you are leaning way more over to the masculine at this point. So let's talk about how you can step more into your feminine energy.
Yeah.
Right. And one of the things that you mentioned, right, is like getting dressed or putting on, did you say lippy?
A little bit of makeup.
I love that you said lippy though. Like I'm going to adopt that, right? Because I'm like, put on some lipstick, right? Yes. But, so it is underrated, right, about how we can do a simple shift on the outside to kickstart the feminine energy. Right. And I say kickstart because, again, it's not, look, it ain't the lipstick. It's not the makeup. It's not your outfit that is ultimately your feminine energy. However, it will kickstart and jumpstart it because it has to be about the embodied sense of that for yourself to really make a lasting difference in your world. So our clothes, for sure. So if you're running around in sort of like yoga clothes or, gym gear or that kind of stuff all the time, just getting kids done, this, that, the other. Or if you're also, working a job and in your work clothes just all the time, and then you come home and just throw on the sort of mom gear, do something a little crazy, like put on a little sort of rhinestoney, dangly, blingy earring with your mom gear. But all of a sudden, that's what I did right before we were doing this. I was like, you know what? I'm going to put on my blingy, lady femme kind of earrings because I was frankly feeling like I needed a little boost of that. Mm-hmm. And it makes a difference, right? So anything that's dangly, sparkly, has a bit more flow to it inherently is going to inspire and kickstart your feminine energy. Yep. And you could combine, right? Like I said, still, if you're in, mom kind of stuff, I know with young kids, you don't want dangly stuff for them to pull, but that's where you could put on some lipstick or even just a sparkle earring, right? Or maybe a bangle on your wrist. These are the kinds of things that will start to get the feminine energy flowing. So clothing and the way you dress, that's one way. One of my favorite ways to inspire feminine energy is about moving the body, dancing, like actually getting out of your head and literally into your body. Yeah. This is super fun to do with the kids. Like put on some music and start to dance and get in. And you don't have to be rhythmic or take a dance class or whatever. Like just you can flail about. Start to feel this wonderful body that you're in. We forget that we're in a body. And that is incredibly challenging if you are looking to own your mojo. Because remember, and I got something special for you to help you with this. But remember, your power center is low in your body. It's not up here. So the home of your mojo is down here. Yeah. Down here, low belly. And so that's why when we dance and we start to move our hips, right? I mean, they didn't say it's like it's in the way you think. No, it's in the way she moves. Yeah, right. Because in our bodies are intoxicating. Our bodies, again, are this place where our feminine energy lives. Man or woman, doesn't matter what gender you are, your feminine energy is located in your body, life below the neck. Right? So dancing, moving your body, and not, I want to be really clear, it's not an exercise. Exercise is great. I love it. I go to the gym. I take yoga class. I do all that. Do all the things.
That's doing.
Yes. But dance, okay? And like dancing, certain dance classes, I think, look, At least over here in the States, this is why pole dancing has become such a phenomenon over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
It's slow, it's sultry, it is utilizing your sexual energy, right?
Yep.
Which is mojo, life force. It's all the same. People don't get freaked out by the phrase sexual energy. It's energy. And so, you know, it's about being in your body in a way that is a non-exercise way. And that's a great way to tap into your feminine energy. And then, of course, a third way that I'll share with you tonight or today, this afternoon, whenever you're listening to this, is all taking a bath or a shower. And I'm going to say a sensual bath or shower, because here's a little shortcut. You ready?
I'm leaning in.
Come on, lean in, everybody. Come on, lean in. All right, good. The shortcut to actually being in your body is consciously using your senses. See, we experience life through our 5 senses, but we're doing it on autopilot, right? This is why I wrote that book right there, Find Your Me Spot. I wrote that book, which is all about using your senses consciously. So when you take a sensual bath or shower, now you could be incorporating aromatherapy, whether it's with high quality essential oils, a soap that has a certain smell to it. You know, if you're taking a bath, it could be bath oils. Of course, it could be also the things and the texture of the things that you use in the bath or the shower. And when we're in the bath or the shower, we got to be naked. I mean, unless you have a whole other way of bathing or showering. And if you got some funky way, I'm curious. Let me know. I'm just curious like that. But, you know, for most of us, we're naked. So it's like you and your body. And if you start to even slow down and just there's an exercise in there called the Love Body Wash, where we're showering and it's like, oh, I love my arms. Oh my God, these arms. Oh my gosh, these arms are amazing. I love these arms because they can, I can hug myself. I can hug other people. I get to hug my babies. I love my arms. Ooh, I love my tatas, right? You start to, I love my belly. I call it the goddess pooch. You just love, and you start to love up on your body. Yeah. When was the last time you did that? I'm already feeling like super perked up just from doing that right now. But you can really like exaggerate it. Mm-hmm. And again, our words have energy. And so if you speak these words, even quietly to yourself about loving yourself, your level of self-love will radically change. I'm telling you, do the Love Body Wash once a day for an entire week. You will be a different woman. Yeah. You will have more mojo. You'll be more enthusiastic, more self-loving, self-accepting than you were the week before. I know this for a fact. I hear this from all the women that come to the events and come to work with me and who have done this and posted on social media. So taking that sensual shower or bath and really consciously utilizing your senses. Because again, I talked about smell in this example. I talked about hearing, talking to yourself, right? Hearing, and also touch. Because most people were taking a bath or shower. I got my routine. I'm sure you got your routine. Get in, wet the hair, put the stuff in, comb it through. Now I wash my face, right? We all have our freaking routine.
Automatic pilot. Yeah.
Automatic pilot. So shake that shit up and break those patterns. Because again, your neurobiological patterning is what is keeping you stuck in feelings, not facts, feelings of having no mojo. Yeah. Right? So all the stuff I shared with you can change your clothes, you can dance, you can do the sensual bath or shower. All of these things are going to start to break the old patterns in your neurobiology to incorporate new ones. And you do that over and over again. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, I'm feeling kind of mojo-licious.
I'm thinking about the absolute power. If you're obviously I've got with my 2 girls of 15 and 17. So I'm not going to be doing this with them because they'd just be like, oh, Mum. But if you know, for the mums out there that have got the little ones, the really little ones, to be having that, them tuning into that self-talk, oh, I love me, my beautiful body, I'm so grateful for you. If they're tuning into that conversation, I mean, they're like little sponges, and then they start to imitate. Oh, what a gift.
Totally. The girls love it. Actually, that woman, that client I mentioned to you before, who went home to tell her daughter, "You're the one I've always wanted," they do the Love body wash together. So she puts on her daughter's body lotion that way. And yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah. So special.
Yeah.
I've been asking each of the speakers to share their ideal, their perfect morning routine, because I'm such a believer in the way we start the day sets the mood for the day. Mm-hmm. What is your ideal perfect morning routine?
Well, my ideal perfect morning routine, I'm going to say, and this really could be any day of the week, whether it's a work day or a non-work day. Well, the first thing is when I open my eyes, to say how grateful I am and thank you. Before my feet ever hit the floor, thank you. Right? So, because that was not something that was present for me for many decades, really, at all. And so, start with a thank you. Then it's getting up and meditating. Spend some time quietly opening up the portal, really tuning into higher self, and having that quiet moment, right?
And guided meditation, or is it?
I do a variety of meditations, so it really depends on what I need. I'm a big fan of binaural beats, so I will listen to those a lot when I meditate, and they have so many of them now. I've been using them for 15 years, and in the beginning it was very difficult to find them, but they're everywhere now. And so I'll meditate, and that would be fantastic, ideal. Do a little journaling as well, and then also some embodiment practice. Really consciously spend, if it's an ideal morning, then I've got 30 minutes to do it. But, a lot of times it's 10 or 15 minutes, and that's okay too. Just simply because having the conscious embodiment practice helps keep everything really fresh and that neurobiological wiring alive and that mojo flowing. So some embodiment practice work, and I'm a tea latte gal, so I love to have tea lattes in the morning, and and then spending some time. I've got my fur child, as you all heard, so we go take a gorgeous walk with her. And like that. So that's already going to take a wee bit of time in the morning.
So for the moms that may not understand what embodiment work is, have you got a snippet to give us some insight on that?
Well, there are many different practices, right? And so in terms of embodiment work, it can be as simple as deep belly breathing, which is not just regular yoga breathing. Got certified many years ago as a yoga instructor because I love yoga so much. Never taught it. It was really just more for my own education. And it's not yogic breathing. I want to be really clear about that. Deep belly breathing is a whole other thing. And so for my yogis out there, it's interesting because sometimes it takes a little bit for the body to catch on. Now, look at your children. I mean, when they're like freshly squeezed, okay? Like the real little, like just came back ones. You will notice all of us, because we all were like that. We all came back as a little person at one point. And when we come back, we naturally belly breathe. You look at children. It's really fascinating. Naturally, this is the way we're wired. And then life happens. And I call this, the things that are challenging, I call them the kinks, because they start to kink up your neurobiology and get in the way of your natural mojo flow. So the deep belly breathing is definitely one of the best embodiment practices to start, right? And then there are other like simple types of movement that are embodiment practices. And it's about coming home to yourself and getting comfortable in your own skin. which can be very challenging for many of us, right? And again, if any of you out there have gone, I know there are those of you out there because the statistics prove it, and we all know at this point with the Me Too movement, but anybody who's gone through trauma or sexual assault or rape, we all know that it was much safer to not be in our bodies, at those times than to actually be in them. So it can take something, to come back to yourself. Yeah. And when you do, it's one of the most, it's probably one of the best things you can ever do for yourself. Because the thing about embodiment, right, when you are embodied, then you actually and genuinely have your power, because you have more presence. And it's not like an ego thing of making heads turn. It's about when you want or need to have an impact, you can do that. Yeah. Whether it's with your children, or if it's with work, or if it's with your spouse, or whatever it might be, where you have that kind of power and presence in your body. And we all know people when you've walked into a party or an event and somebody just walks in and you're like, they haven't said anything, but you're like, who the hell is that? Like, I need to know that person, right? It's your mojo. People feel it from you before you ever even open your mouth, right? Yeah.
Beautiful. I love that practice of having something that you say before your feet even hit the floor. I recently tuned in, I don't know if you've seen it, Brene Brown just did something on Netflix, and she talks about, which is absolutely magic for anyone out there that hasn't seen it yet, but she talks about before she gets out of bed and puts her feet on the floor, she says, today I choose courage over comfort. And I've just adopted it. It's like, oh, it's gold.
That's great. You're the second person who told me about that, her Netflix special. I got to check it out. I've her videos and books. She's fantastic.
Perfect. I know that you've got an awesome gift for the women that are tuning into this. Have you got a minute to tell them what that is?
I do. I would love to tell you about this, because here's the thing. One of the things that we say, we call it a mojoism or a Kaganism. And awareness, it's great. It's really good. It's so awesome that you're here and you're putting powerful stuff in your ears, like, again, consciously utilizing your hearing and putting empowering information in. Excellent. However, awareness without action, it's just mental masturbation. Okay?
Love it.
This is a meme. It's all over my social media stuff. We post it regularly because it's important to get that. And here's the thing. If it's important to you, you'll take action. If there was something really wrong with your child, you would take action. Here's the thing. If you're feeling really separated from your mojo, this is your one and only life, right? Like, your life is on the line. Yeah. So here's the action I invite you to take right now, which is about getting this fantastic free gift, because it's 4 very short videos. Yeah. I made them short because I know we're all really busy and I know you got kids to take care of. So there are 4 videos that take you through the 4 pillars. In the first video with mindset, you're going to learn about the 3 dangerous mindsets. Everybody's got them. It's important to know about them and learn about how to turn them around, right? So you'll learn about that in the first video. Second video, you will learn one of the easiest and yet most effective exercises, embodiment exercises, to awaken your power center. That's turning the volume dial up on your mojo. So that's the second video. Third, it's going to walk you through a great process of joining with your different roles, right? So again, you'll be getting to expand and step into the fullness and full self-expression of you, and not just get pigeonholed in mom role. Fourth video is about the oasis, of course, and that is going to teach you about some of the most important things that, again, everybody has this one place in their home, and it is the place that will welcome more opportunities and more mojo into your life. And so you're going to learn what that is and then what to do with it right away. So that it's an easy 4-part video training. Again, all the videos, literally, they're under 5 minutes each. Seriously, super easy, super effective. I like to give it to you in a digestible way. And all of it, what I say, again, it's easy. It really is easy. So those are my gift for you. And I do want to point out that when you get that gift, you'll also be invited to the women's event that I run for, and like nowhere else unheard of offer for your ticket. So just wanted to preface that because it's only going to show up once. And I would love to see you live because that's really where, we have even more fun.
That's absolutely magic and so generous. Thank you so much, Deborah. This interview has been amazing and I'm dying to dive into those videos as well. Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right. Bye for now.